everyone, this is Midnight Mommy. So for today's tutorial, ituturo ko sa inyo ang Pascal's Principle. So the Pascal Principle states that any change in pressure applied to a completely enclosed fluid is transmitted and diminished to all parts of the fluid and the enclosing walls. So ang key word dito is yung tinatawag na enclosed fluid, itong phrase na to. Okay, so ang ibig sabihin nito, yung fluid natin, nakalagay siya sa isang confined container. So ibig sabihin, hindi pwedeng pumasok ang hangin. So talagang ano lang siya, yung liquid lang na yon within that container. So sinasabi lang sa Pascal's principle is that yung pressure natin sa isang confined liquid is just the same, okay, all throughout. So take natin for example itong illustration dito na meron tayong isang confined liquid. So sinasabi lang dito na kapag nag-apply ka ng pressure sa point na to, let's call this as P1, kung ano man yung pressure dito, hindi siya nawawala dito sa entire container. So ibig sabihin, pagdating sa part na to, okay, yung pressure na naki-create dito sa side na to, let's call that as P2, yung P1 and P2 is just the same. Okay? So parehas lang sila. So we know na ang formula natin for pressure is force over area. Kaya dito natin kinukuha yung equation ng Pascal's principle. Na sinasabi natin na F1 over A1 is just equal to F2 over A2. So yung hydraulic lift natin, ito yung madalas yung nakikita sa mga car repair shops. Ito yung ginagamit na equipment para maiangat yung mga sasakyan na kailangang i-repair. So dito, gumagamit lang tayo ng maliit na amount of force para maiangat yung napakabigat na sasakyan. Yung pressure na nakikreate natin sa ating input is also the same pressure na nakikreate natin sa ating output. A 2,000-pound car is lifted by a manually operated hydraulic lift. The area of the shaft of the lift is 80 square centimeters and the area of the piston that forces liquid into the system is 2 square centimeters. What force must be exerted on this piston to lift the car? Okay, so identify muna natin yung mga given natin na F1, A1, F2, and A2. So kung i-assume natin na yung input natin is yung A1, and then yung ating output is yung A2, so identify natin yung mga forces dito. So, yung ating 2,000-pound car, ito yung gagawin natin ng F2. Ito kasi yung pinaka-output. And then, meron tayong area ng shaft. So, yung area ng shaft na kung saan nakalagay yung sasakyan, this one is 80 square centimeters. So, ito yung pang-output natin. And then, sinasabi dito na yung area ng piston natin that forces liquid into the system. So, ito yung ating input. That is 2 square centimeters. So, dito natin siya lalagay sa A1. So, tinatanong sa atin is, what is the force that we must exert on the piston to lift the car? So, on this case, ito yung tinahanap natin, yung ating F1. Okay, so yung ating input force. Okay, so kung gagamitan natin to ng Pascal's principle, so meron tayong F1 over A1 is equal to F2 over A2. So, para ma-solve natin ang F1, cross-multiply muna tayo. So, F1 A2 is equal to F2 A1. So, since ang sinusolve natin ay yung F1, i-divide natin both sides of the equation by A2. Para ma-cancel ang A2 rito sa left side. So, ngayon, meron tayong F1 is equal to F2 A1 over A2. So, substitute natin yung ating mga values. So, para sa F2, meron tayong 2,000 pounds. And then, yung ating A1 is 2 square centimeters. And i-divide natin to sa ating area 2. So, yung area 2 natin is 80 square centimeters. So, kung mapapansin nyo, makakancel natin dito yung unit ng square centimeters. Kaya may iwan na lang na unit is pounds. Okay, so therefore, ang F1 natin is equal to 50 pounds. An engineering student wants to build a hydraulic pump to lift a 1,815 Newton crate. The pump will have two pistons connected via a fluid chamber. So the student calculates that a force of 442 newtons will be exerted on the small piston, which will have an area of 50.2 square centimeters. What must the area of the large piston be to exert the desired force? Okay. So again, identify muna natin ano yung ating F1, A1, F2, and A2. Okay, so kung i-assume natin dito na yung F1 natin, again, ito yung ating input. Okay. So, ang given natin dito is meron tayong gustong i-lift na crate. So 1,815, ito yung ating magiging output force. So dito natin siya lalagay sa F2. 1,850 newtons. Okay, so tandaan nyo, kapag output force, yan yung gusto nyong i-lift, okay, na object. So bigyan ko kayo ng tip. Kapag output force, dito nyo ilalagay yung weight ng object na gusto nyong i-lift. And then yung input force, ito yung F1, ito yung force na kailangan nyong i-apply para ma-lift yung object. So dito sa problem natin, sabi dito, the student calculates that a force of 442 will be exerted on the small piston. So itong 442 newtons, ito yung ating input force. So F1 is 442 newtons. And sabi dito, meron tayong area na 50.2 square centimeter. So ito yung area ng ating small piston. So yan yung A1. So ang hinahanap natin dito is the area of the large piston. So ito yung ating A2. So again, para mas madaling matandaan, yung A1, yun ang ating input piston. So yan yung smaller na piston, and then ang A2 natin, yun yung output na piston. So yun yung larger piston. So pag gagamitin natin to ng Pascal's principle, so meron tayong F1 over A1 is equal to F2 over A2. So isosolve natin ang A2, so cross multiply muna natin. So this one is equal to F1 A2 is equal to F2 A1. So para ma-solve natin ang A2, divide natin both sides of the equation by F1. So makakancel na siya dito sa left side. So therefore, ang A2 natin is F2 A1 over F1. So substitute na natin yung mga values. So ang F2 natin is 1,850 newtons. And then ang area 1 natin is 50.2 square centimeters. I-divide natin to sa F1 natin, which is 442 newtons. So kung mapapansin nyo, makakancel natin dito yung unit na newtons. So ang ating final answer for A2 is equal to 206 square centimeters. So yan po ang ating A2. So sana po nakatulong ng malaki sa inyo itong tutorial na to. So kung meron pa kayong mga other topics sa physics or sa math na gusto nyo gawin nating tutorials, mag-comment lang po kayo sa ating comment section, and I'll see you on my next video.